So, what can I help you with?
Yeah, cool. So, obviously Airtables is a lot more powerful than Google Spreadsheets. Uh,
I would say yes with a few caveats. One is that you can't use macros in Airtable.
okay.
So if you're using Sheets for some kind of a complicated thing, which you might be doing, which relies on macros, you don't get that with Airtable. Although you could sort of build some stuff with Zapier, but it's kind of a workaround. And the other component is that Airtable doesn't have this sort of marketplace for add-ons, for free add-ons that do all sorts of stuff. So
Okay.
if those two things are not mission critical for your Google Sheets usage, if you're just using them as basically spreadsheets and ways to collect and present and organize your information for both for yourself and for customers, then Airtable is probably a better solution.
Cool. Yes, like getting to the stage now, do you like trying to have a easier way to follow up with leads? So something like, do you like Pipe Drive, or I have been using Zoho for one client, but let's say I get like say 10 replies, I've got to take them out of LinkedIn, put them in a spreadsheet, see what's positive, see what's negative. And then what we do then is with all the positives, then we'll add like the company, like so the information like in the LinkedIn inbox, for example, you only have the person's name, link to the message, last reply. But then based on the person's name, then I use VLOOKUPs to find out the person's company name, size, job title. So got as much information on the person as we can. Then I upload that into Zoho. Pain in the ass, but then I'm trying to use Zoho then like as a CRM of like when to follow up with leads. But I'm just finding I'd find it easier just to keep using like a Google spreadsheet or something in Airtable. So like in my head, I thought, let's say I've got months and months of positive replies. If I say, do you've got conditional formatting in Airtable?
Why do you want to maybe, Marley, share your screen and just show me what you're doing now, and then I could maybe share my screen and show you how it might look in Airtable?
Cool. Let me just get a client up. Also, I'm on the phone on the call, and the computer is where obviously the good stuff is. 2 seconds. Right, let me log out and I'll log in on the laptop. Is that okay?
Sure. Yep.
Cool. Cheers.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
You all good?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so let's share screen. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, so this is typically got message from, last response, link to message, and then I mark this positive and negative. So ideally, I'd like to, once I add it to this sheet, put in it like a timestamp, something like that, it's just a very quick short key, and like have a conditional formatting. So let's say it changes, it goes to red, say after 5 days or whatever the case may be, then so that I know I've got to follow up. So I think I could have like a color code, all the greens at the top, so they're done or they're passed on to the sales rep. If something's a follow-up, it starts as blue, but let's say I haven't done anything 5, 10, however many days, then it goes to red. So then as I'm going down the street, anything I see that's red, I know to follow up, then put in a new timestamp, and then go from there. Because, that's pretty much, I just want to make my life easier, because what I have been doing is taking it from one sheet to another, add the title, positive, so what stage of the pipeline, all this jazz, and then upload it to Zoho, which I don't know, it's annoying when I'm tired to do. And also then I'm not really using Zoho at all. I've got about almost 2 months worth of follow-ups to do really, but I wait for, say, let's have a bad week with leads and we get like 1 or 2. That's when I do the follow-ups then. So because like the client's happy at the end of the day, get maybe 2, 3 meetings a week. Let's say to have a bad week, I know then it's good to follow up, so that keeps me always isn't in the green. But I'm thinking obviously scalable, scale growth. Again, my own pipeline, I want to put all this to a VA. Then I want to manage like 3 accounts myself for sales, master sales, and like thinking ahead, So I need to get this organized, which is not much effort, not much time. But all over the shop at the moment, you know, and maybe trying to do it on a cheap without paying for pipe drive. But again, it's only like $15. But then if I have like 10, 20, 30 clients, I don't need paying for that for every client either, you know, so something like Airtable would be a good solution.
For sure. And I think most of the best features that you would need are already free on Airtable. Whereas they have like a pro and a premium plan that has, you know, added features, but we don't use them. We just use all just the basic features, actually.
That's cool. You use it a lot more than me, you know. I think it's pretty. I was impressed with what you built. It seemed very comprehensive. But yeah, just something to like remind me what I think. Rather than looking at data and looking at like pipeline stages, right, when you have to follow, like just have colors. If it's red, right, that's an action on me. Right, do the action, change the dates. Right, it's blue. I can ignore that. You know, something. It's just super simple, and keep it simple, stupid.
So explain this spreadsheet to me a bit, like slowly, like how it's this particular sheet, right? The other tabs aren't as important. This is the main one.
For what I would use Airtables for, yes. So this is pretty much every positive reply this client has ever had.
So this is for a particular client.
Yes.
So there on the top, company is. So, I see. Okay, so this whole sheet is for Mark Bateman.
Yes. This
gotcha,
is
okay.
My client. So then, like I've got like a custom tool. So what it does, let's say unread messages, I click here. It just copies and pastes, or gives you something to paste. So if I go copy now, so pretty much I get right. These are these 3 replies.
Mm-hmm.
I go copy to clipboard. I go to the sheet. I press paste. I read them. Right, is it positive, negative? If it's negative, I put in another sheet or just leave it there. But then if it's a yes, right, that's great. So then I've got an action. I've got to try and get that positive reply to a call then. Typically, it's just send over a scheduling link. And I've come to arrangement then with Mark then is once I've sent the link, it's a book call, he'll let me know. That goes into his like sales pipeline then. So I've got like a lead generation pipeline from call to message booked. But then as soon as they've booked the call, as long as they show up, then that's on him to close the deal, you know?
Right.
We are both using Zoho at the moment, but again, I don't know, it's like probably overkill for what I want, you know? I think like I've had him for 6 months in fairness, but it seems the average length of a client is like 1 to 3 months, either because I do really well, like we pause, come back later, or it's like not quite getting the results. So they can't close typically, but I have added sales training to my process, not my training, but mentors I've got, I just share their sales training, and that seems to be working pretty good at the moment. So, you know, it reduces churn. But again, I offer like a lead generation or business development model. Ideally, I probably want to sell a business development model to higher ticket, but then I've really got to be on the ball with follow-ups and booking these meetings for them. Hence, we're on the call with you today.
Okay, so I wonder if we can try a little experiment and go ahead and open up Airtable. Just open a new base in Airtable. And we're going to try to just copy all of your sheet over to Airtable and then move it around a little bit, manipulate some of the data.
Sounds good. So I was speaking to someone on a weekend. I don't know how familiar you are with like conditional formatting. So he says you can do that in Google Sheets, but I think I might want to keep it separate, a little bit cleaner, because I've got a million tabs, you know, so maybe have like a very clean, polished version for the client or whatever, and then I work with all the bullshit in the Google Sheets. So,
So what we'll do here is we'll actually, those are just templates that Airtable gives you. We're going to create a new base, so add a base, and do import a spreadsheet. And so you can actually just copy your entire sheet, just like select all. But it's like, yeah, be able to copy and paste that whole thing in that field there. It shows a header. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, now what I'd like for you to do, once you name it, okay, is go ahead and click through to it.
Just to verify.
No, just click on that base that you created, and go up to the right-hand corner where it says share, and send me see where it says invite by link. Click that up top. There you go, and just send. Yeah, make it creator. Don't say allow any email address. Create link, and send me that link real quick on Zoom, please. So now what I'm going to do is share my screen, and I'm just going to try to share my thought process with you, and and that'll help you understand whether this is a good option and how you could use Airtable. Cool. Because it's pretty versatile, man. It's quite versatile, and I think you could probably make a really slick CRM with this, and you'd have everything in one place basically.
Sounds good.
Meaning you'd have like all of your customers in one area instead of having a separate spreadsheet for each person.
I've got you. Because what I also do as well, we'll stick to what we're doing. Yeah, cool. You can probably delete row A and the first two columns if I'm honest. For now.
Company and size?
Yeah, delete them.
We'll keep them for now, and I'll explain why in a second.
Cool.
So what I'm going to just do is real quick organize a few different tables. So just a quick bit of terminology to help you understand is this whole thing, like this whole area workspace, is a base.
A base, okay.
Okay, and each of these tabs up top are tables.
Okay.
And each of these fields are fields.
Yeah.
Cool. So what you generally want to do is you want to organize your tables into like separate categories of information. So for example, really logical one we'd want is customers. Your customers. Come on. And we'll make that the first base. Okay. And so Mark, I think was one of them, right?
Yeah.
Mark. So that's the name of the customer. Now you're going to put whatever information you need about that customer here. So probably you'll get his email, you'll also need to know like what plan he's on. So you probably offer a few different plans, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for that, what we'll do is we'll create another table called offers. So these are your offers that you sell. So say PLBoost. What plan is Mark on?
It's £450 a month.
Okay. Do you have like a name, or is it just?
Business development. Yeah, business development.
So biz dev. Okay, so that'll be your plan, and we'll say price, and we'll say you do everything in pounds.
Yes, it's good with pounds.
Okay, so we're gonna do a number, and we'll do 450. And we can actually remove that decimal place because you don't really need it. Okay, and this will be like all the information you want to add about this plan. So we do XYZ on this plan.
Cool.
Okay. Now what you do is you're gonna indicate in your own base, this is for your own organization, all of the customers that have a particular plan. So in this case, we're gonna create a linked record that links up with the offers base. And then we're going to say which plan a particular customer has. So we know that Mark is on the PLBoost plan, but we don't have to enter that information in multiple different places. We just enter it in one place and link to that place whenever we need to reference that information, which means that unlike a Google Sheet or an Excel sheet, you very rarely wind up with duplicate entries. Not only that, but when you actually click on this, it brings it up as a pop-up, and you can see that it has a little line that indicates that it's linked to the table, offers table, and it brings up all that information in that pop-up.
Cool. So it's a bit like a database then, isn't it? But yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's a relational database where you can see the relationships, and so there's basically like two big factors of Airtable that make it so great, or maybe three. One is the relational database ability. The other is the ability to do really good filtering, grouping, and views. I'll show you that in a minute. And the third thing is its simplicity. Despite the fact that it's like quite powerful, it's really approachable. Okay, so we don't really need an attachments field at this point. Maybe you'll need it later, so you can just hide it for now. And you can see like it's hidden. Okay, so now we've got Mark in here. We've got the offer that he's on. We've got maybe like his email, maybe markb@gmail.com or whatever it is. British guy, whatever. Okay, so you got all that info. Now let's go to this imported table and let's try to organize it. And we'll say, okay, so this is really kind of like your CRM table, right?
Yeah. So all the positive replies. So like, would I get like maybe a pipe drive field to it, you know?
So all right, so these are just replies. So we're going to actually make this table just replies, and we'll have a separate CRM table that pulls like replies and any other data that you need into the CRM.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So there's a little bit of like a art and science to how you organize your tables, and I don't really know how to communicate that other than you just have to experiment with it. But
yes, imagine like, let's say I put new replies in, status, sent link, book meeting, whatever the case. You know, it should automatically jump into I want to say tab, but yeah, whatever the things are, customer author replies CRM.
So like, do you see this line here?
Yes. Sir.
All right. So every table has a primary field. And so the question is like, what is the organizing information around that field? And I guess in this case, it'd probably be the person who's replying, right?
Yes, message from, definitely.
Message from. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to move this field behind the primary field line. Then we're going to move this here. I don't know if we could do that.
Just delete the company. I know you don't want to,
but... No, we can't because it's a primary field, but what we can do is just copy this, place it here. And then we could delete this and rename this, say, yeah, message from, that's fine. So now that's your primary field, cool. Now keep in mind too, that what we could do, this is a little bit more advanced, but I'll just show you now just in the interest of kind of making things as comprehensive as, plus I have a recording of this you can reference because I'm recording now.
Okay.
Now the thing is in Airtable, right, is like, you want to keep all your different categories of information in different fields. What you don't want to do is you don't want to start duplicating the same category of information. For example, like if you've got customers, affiliates, businesses, those are all really different types of people.
Okay.
So the most elegant thing to do is have a tab just called people, and indicate in that tab what type of a person they are. So Mark is your customer. So we'll say PLBoost customer. Actually, we'll say type, right? And we will use a multiple select field and add some options. So we'll say PLBoost customer. We can say LinkedIn prospect. We could say affiliate. So if you decide to do affiliate stuff, say partner. We could say
Inbound, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Referral. That's just
referral. Referral would be
similar to.
similar. That's okay. Okay, we'll put it there. We know Mark is for sure a PLBoost customer. And for example, let's imagine I'm your affiliate.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not on any plan, and I'm a affiliate. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start using some of these organizational functions to break this down and make it really easy for you to get organized and only see the information that's relevant to whatever task you're doing. So this primary view, so Airtable's got a few different views. It's got like the grid view, which is what you're seeing here, basically like a spreadsheet view. It's also got a form view, so you can actually send forms to your customers to intake them, and it'll automatically populate your sheet.
Oh, nice.
So you can build like SOPs and workflows around forms. You've got a calendar view. I'll just show you what that looks like. So this is our team calendar, basically.
Nice.
For MemberFix, and these are all linked records that go back to the people tab and link to like each individual team members, and you can see everything about that team member, like their name, their email, any information you want to see.
Have you got this doing your billing as well for clients, or?
Am I building this for clients?
So billing. So does it automatically go out?
No, we have automatic recurring billing through Stripe and PayPal, but what we do is we do all of our payroll.
Okay.
It's automatically calculated based on how many hours our team works. So this is all kind of formula based. But for example, like for July, we'll say, okay, here's our team, right? This is the number of hours that they worked in this column.
Yeah.
This is a formula that calculates how many hours of overtime they earned. So you could see like Soren earned 18 hours of overtime.
Nice.
Because we pay a higher rate for overtime.
Go on, Soren.
Yes, yeah, he killed it last month, and Stan did too.
Stan, 28, yeah, I like Stan.
He killed me, man. I had to take like $1,000 as my salary. I was like, come on, guys, don't work so hard. No, I'm just kidding. They're awesome, of course. But so these are the sort of the hourly rates of the team, and this is figured in the calculation. And then so all of these fields are basically like just used to calculate the payment. And then at the end of the month, all I do is plug in the total hours, and it spits out the amount. And then we say, okay, guys, I did all the payroll calculation. So now I'm going to put it on review status. And then each team member goes through and confirms that that's correct. They also put however many paid days off they had, because that figures into the calculation. And then I'll make like any comments that are necessary. Like if I owed somebody from last month, I'll put it in the notes, and then I'll say the payment system, who paid the fee, the payment fees, the PayPal email, if it's applicable. And so now we have an audit trail of our payroll.
Nice.
And it used to take me probably 5 to 10 hours a month. Now it takes 15 minutes.
That's good work, that.
Okay. So coming back to your thing.
Do you still pay American taxes, or?
Well, no, because I'm legally under the limit where I owe taxes.
Nice. So that's like one of the only countries you still have to pay their taxes if you're not in that country.
Correct. Correct.
Ouch.
Yes. So, okay, we've got your grid view, your form view, your calendar view, which you just saw, the gallery view, which is kind of like a portfolio.
Okay.
Right? And then you got Kanban, which is like a Trello view.
Yeah.
And I'll show you what that looks like here real quick in our primary base. So you see we've got like a raw grid view with no filters on it. Then we've got Vic's grid view, which is the same as the raw view, but we've just added one filter where the owner is Vic.
Okay.
So it's just my stuff. And then we have just Victor's stuff, just Soren's stuff. Or we have a view where we want to see the status of all the tasks. So we're grouping by tasks as the primary grouping, or sorry, by owner. So here's all of Victor's tasks, here's all of my tasks, and it comes into these nice, neat groups. And the Kanban view is basically just a Trello situation. So
is that easier to drag and drop than, yeah. So something like this, I think I want for the pipeline, you know?
Okay, so let's look at doing that.
Yeah.
Let's look at doing that real quick.
And I think in an ideal world, you've got the replies in one tab. And let's say I update the reply to like sent link.
Yeah.
Then that automatically then puts it into like the sent link row, column, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And then say when I've sent them the link, so that's where that's in there. Then once they book a meeting with the link on Calendly, then that would move to a meeting booked.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, so I'm just less and less involved, you know?
For sure.
Again, yeah, saving time.
For sure. So the first step would be to set up the base, and the second step would be to create those automations.
Nice. Excited.
And you could do that with Zapier pretty easily. We've got an enterprise Zapier account, so I could help you with that. Way cheaper than having to buy your own Zapier account, basically. We charge basically $3 a Zap per month, which I think for what you're doing, you'd probably need like three or four Zaps, maybe something like that. Anyway, so going back to the views, so if you want to see all of your customers,
yeah,
we'd create a new view for that, which we would be like a grid view, and we'd say customers view, or just customers, and then add a filter in which the type of person has any of PLBoost customer. So now anytime you just want to see your customers, you come over to this view. All right. And if we just want to see affiliates, we'll go ahead and duplicate this view.
And change the filter.
That's right. Yep, exactly. Just affiliates. Change the filter to has any of affiliates. And now we get to see all of our affiliates. Now the really cool thing too is whatever changes you make in the view to like hiding fields or adding fields or rearranging the order gets preserved for that view and doesn't affect any of your other views. So for example, you don't need the plan column because none of your affiliates are going to be on some of them might be customers, but let's assume that none of them are, just for whatever reason. We'll just hide that field. And maybe you don't need an attachments field, but maybe you need like a NDA field where you have like a signed NDA PDF, right? Where's the upload field, file field? File, attachment, there we go. Okay. And this would only be visible in this view, in the affiliates view. So when you go back to your customers view, you hide that here, and now this is your dedicated view just to customers. Okay.
Cool.
Now, let's get back to the point of this whole thing. So all of these replies are people,
Yes.
Okay. So what that means is we need a new view. Where actually, let's just keep it simple for now because I don't want to take up too much time. Let's expand these. So let's get rid of size for now. Let's just hide it. Okay. Title. Okay, title. Last message opportunity, URL. Okay. Now, how do you get if it's a positive reply? Is this a manual process?
Yeah, I read the last reply. So that should be, yeah, that's on me, yes or no. I don't mind that at this stage, you know.
So let's just do a single select field where the options are yes, yes, no, whatever. Okay, there you go. So what that means is you can now create a view
For the yeses.
just for the yeses.
Yeah, so this is, yeah, that's ideally what we want to work with, isn't it?
Positive yes replies. Add a filter where the positive is any of what it would have to be is. Yes. Okay. There you go. So that's your yes view. Now you could also have a no view, etc.
Yeah.
Now the cool thing about this is when you're building your CRM and you're linking to this table, you can make it so that the linked record only links to records in this view. So it like filters it down. So if you just want to see positive replies, it'll only link to those and none of the other data from the.
Cool. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. And in fact, let's change this. Let's change some of the fields to make them more sort of made for Airtable a bit.
Would it be worthwhile, like, let's say you've got like all replies, then have it like, let's say the first stage of the pipeline was just positive replies. No, I suppose, yeah, just a view is fine. So the next stage would be like sent link.
So how do you want your, all right, so let's open a Kanban view maybe. And we'll say pipeline. Okay. Now we need to actually create a field that organizes all of the other fields around it. So that would probably be like maybe status, like status of the pipe or something.
Yeah.
So this would be like, I don't know, to reach out. These are people you haven't contacted yet. These are going to be like walk me through, like what are the differences?
Yeah, it's replied, positive replied, sent link, meeting box, and that's it.
Sent link?
Yeah, and then meeting box.
And then meeting book. Okay, so you could basically walk people through this whole.
Yeah.
Through this whole thing. Okay, so cool.
And maybe even take reach out off. I think that would be done separate. Yeah.
So we can delete that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Cool. So now we've got to link each of, so we've basically got to link back to the replies, right? So you're dumping all of your replies into that replies table.
Yes.
And so we need a linked record that goes to those. So we need to go back to the grid view real quick so we can make sense of it a little bit. Okay, so status, name. Okay, so we're going to say replies. And this looks a little janky now, so we'll organize it later, obviously. Replies, link to record, we're linking to replies. And we could limit the record selection to a view, but for now, we're going to not do that. Okay, and let's go back to our pipeline. Okay, and we'll say, okay, we'll pick one of these positive replies.
Okay.
All right. And what we probably want to do is maybe make this like what would you want to see here on the pipeline in terms of like, you'd want to see the person's name, you think?
Yeah, just say name and link to message for now. And maybe
Name,
like last contacted, but I think
name and link to message. Okay.
we can. I get the gist of it. You know, it's easy to fill out if you like.
Cool. So we'll say name, and we'll make that like, so there's sort of a limit on which type of fields can be primary fields. They can't be linked records, but what you could do is you could just do a formula field that pulls this name.
I've got you.
And I forgot how to do that exactly. I think it's, you go to replies.
Equal replies for
Replies. I think it just links. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful.
Cool.
And you could format it, make it look a bit nicer or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's your organizing field. So that's, call it prospect name maybe, or lead name.
Yeah, lead name. Yeah.
So say lead name. Notes we could just hide. You don't really need that right now. And here's another cool thing. I don't know if you knew this, but whenever you have a linked record in a table, that means that you can pull any of the other fields from that linked record into this table. So for example, like you need this URL, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to use a new, say reply URL. We're going to use a new type of field, which is also a linked field called a lookup, which is exactly what it sounds like. You identify one of the linked records that you have in this table. We've only got this one that goes to replies, and we select it. Then we choose which field we want to look up. We want to look up the URL field that corresponds to the reply record of that entry. And bada bing, bada boom.
Nice.
You've automatically got your reply URL. Probably don't need attachments, so we'll just hide that. And let's go back to our Kanban view and see how it looks. So we want to customize the cards to show the, we don't need notes. We just need status, reply. Actually, we don't even need replies, do we? We just need reply URL. You could include that as well if you wanted to.
Yeah.
The benefit of that is you would be able to actually click on.
Yeah, so that's good.
The thing.
You can check the message and yeah.
All right. Now let's say you want to move this record over here. What that does is that changes the status field.
Okay.
So here the status was replied, right? We go to the grid view. See the status is replied. If we change the status here to positive replied, we go back to the pipeline, it automatically moves it to the card with the updated status.
Would there be a way? So let's say if you click on just a CRM, click on replies next to that before offers.
Sure.
Yes. So let's say, for example, I paste in like today's replies, and then subscribe positive yes. But let's say I'm going to send the link. So let's say I go then, like send link, for example. Is there a way for that then? Because I've just typed in send link in priority. So that would jump to the send link part of the CRM in the Kanban view.
Okay, so
pretty much I'd be like working here. I just go, yes, send link. Boom, that's done. That's in like part 3 of the pipeline. And then hopefully then Calendly, Zapier would take care of the rest, you know?
Okay, so what you're saying is like you set this priority to sent link.
Yeah.
And then in the CRM, it's going to automatically move it to that stage.
Yes.
It's going to move it here.
That would be
that'd be ideal. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me show you how that would actually work. So status, right? So status, right now we're using status as a multiple or a single select field type. Single select. So single select just means you have like these options and you can only select one at a time.
Okay.
Whereas with multiple select, you can have multiple options, like almost like tags. Okay. Well, if we want to pull the status field from the replies table That means we just need to make it a linked record instead of a single select record. So what we would do is we would change this into a single select field type. And notice like it'll automatically, whenever you change the field type, it automatically like preserves all of the options that you had, all of the unique options that you had. Well, what you really need to do is you need to basically go in and decide
how full, yeah.
Yeah, like you've got way too much shit, right?
Yeah.
So we would just like have like sent link, call booked, all of the different statuses that can go onto Kanban, right?
Yeah.
So booked, call, whatever. Okay, cool. So now what we do is we go back to the CRM and we change this from a single select into a lookup field.
Okay.
So there's our lookup, and we're going to go based on so we're looking up in the replies table, and we're looking up the status field, wherever that is. I think it was this one, priority. Is that right? Was it priority or was it status? Let's check. Yeah, it was priority. Cool. So it's priority. So let's go back to the CRM. So we've got our status automatically updating here based on the reply so let's get a few more replies in here just to make it kind of more visible for you. Got a few different options here. Oh shit, did that one twice. Let's do Sonia. Okay, and notice that like anytime you have a linked record and you populate it, it populates all of the other stuff that you need. And let's go back to our pipeline view. Okay, so now we need to see like it broke the Kanban view because we were using the single select. So now we need to use, we need to use a, so they insist on you using a single select field. Okay, no problem. So we'll just say priority. Let's go back to our grid. So there's a little bit of art and science here. As you can see, priority. So in this case, we can't use this lookup field to organize the pipeline, but it's not really a problem because what you could do is you could just make Zapier automatically populate the priority field based on what's in the status field. So in this case, we'll have like, what do we say? Replied. What are the other options?
Sent link
and booked, right?
Yeah.
So cool. So we go back to our pipeline. Yeah. And then what Zapier would do for you is it would, based on whatever's here in the status field, which would be hidden, so you wouldn't really have to deal with it, it would automatically populate this. So this one, let's say replied. This one sent link, and this one.
Priority equals the status, does it? Or
yeah, it would. Yeah, that's what you would do in Zapier.
Cool.
And then when you go back to your pipeline, you can collapse this one because you don't really need it. You've got this. Also, you've got this this really cool thing where you can show.
I suppose the next part would be, let's say something's been in sent link for 3 days. So if you sent the link, they haven't booked the call.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get it like flash, like it changes color, or just, so rather than me thinking and looking at the dates, I just got an obvious, right, that it's in this part of the pipeline. Right, I haven't looked at it for 3 days. It's glowing, flashing red. Right, I need to do something there, you know?
I don't think you could do that on the free version of Zapier, like they limit on the other color stuff, but you can find another way to communicate to you that it needs to get your attention. So
yeah,
let's use a real example. So let's say Luca. let's use that as an example. All right.
So I put like last message and I put like a date field, so I'm updating that all the time. But then,
So the lead date, the last contact, right?
yes, the last contact date.
All right. So what we need to do is we need to change some of these fields to be date fields. So last contact. And the cool thing is you get a timestamp that's the date plus the time. So you have the exact time. So say today, it automatically populates the exact time that it is now. Cool. And you say the lead date, okay, it was 5/2/2019. Let's turn that into a date field as well.
So I think like I know like let's say in the spreadsheet, like conditional formatting, so many days passes that date and then it would update whatever, or would you have to like set a task?
Well, the question is like, how do you want to be notified, or how do you want Airtable to indicate to you? Like, you might even have like a separate status after a certain amount of days that'll be like, emergency follow-up or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Ideally, if it was just like if it just went red, so okay, anything red, I need to be on the case. But yeah, I could make a new stack and just say Marley's actions, and then I go in.
So you're saying like ideally, for like using Luca as an example, ideally he would stay in this stage, but you'd have like a color or some kind of notice showing you that like, hey, this needs your attention, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think probably the easiest thing to do would be let's just go back to the grid view real quick. And like, I'm just giving you ideas. There's a lot of ways that you can skin this cat, but maybe we'll say like,
oh, do they do if statements or?
You mean like functions?
Yes, like say if doesn't move into booked field in 5 days.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking. So I'll show you how to do that. So we'll say requires Marley, and we'll just make this maybe a checkbox field. Okay. And we'll fill that field only if a certain amount of time has transpired between the lead date and the last contact date.
Okay.
Is that right? It's basically, or no, it's how long has it been since the
last contact date and the calendar today, like,
Right. So we basically, I'm not going to do it now because it'd probably take a little doing, but you'd basically have another field and you'd hide it, but it'd be like days since last contact.
Cool.
And what it would be is it would be a formula field that figures out how many days it's been since the last contact and today's date. So I think you'd have something like, is it today? Yeah, see, cool. Returns the current day, example, boom, today. So there's today's date.
Cool.
And we'll say today's date minus last contact date.
Yeah, nice.
That might even work just like that. Okay, that's probably like a Unix timestamp, and then it gets converted or whatever. But basically, it's doable, and it'll tell you, okay, how many days has it been since the last contact and today. And what you could even do, and what you might want to do if you have other people helping you, is to make all of the date fields like ISO or whatever the GMT, so everybody's on the same exact time zone.
I've got you. Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, it'll use whatever time zone you're in.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
Okay. And then so if it says 5, then you'll automatically populate this checkbox.
Okay. Yeah, like that.
So if it's been 5 days, it'll automatically populate the checkbox. We'll customize the cards to show that field. What we'll even do is we'll change the field to be the very first one. And you see you got a checkbox. Or you could do like something that's more obvious, like a giant red thing, I'll show you what I mean. So maybe instead of a checkbox, you'll just do like a, you can even do an image, really, which will be like a big giant exclamation. Yeah, a big giant like big giant or an exclamation point or whatever. So we'll do attachment. Requires Marley or no. This is about to get not safe for work, I think, but that's okay. We're all big boys. I'm going to use my favorite GIF to let you know that this is important. So downloads.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Right now.
What's coming?
Uh-huh.
You don't know.
2 dudes, 1 cup. What the fuck?
Okay, we'll just use this one. I want to be able to use this recording for marketing purposes, so we're going to keep it rated PG-13. Come on. Oh, God, I need a new computer, dude. For real.
Do you defrag it on iMacs and Macs and stuff?
It's just too old, man. It's a 2010 machine.
Oof. Treat yourself, mate.
I will.
Can the shop automatically take all your stuff on this one and put it on the next one? Because that's usually a nightmare. Just starting again from scratch, emailing stuff for yourself, or you've got a Dropbox and.
Say that again.
Do you know everything you've got saved in your hard drive and all your cookies and just all that, you know? So if you go to a shop, will they just like transfer everything?
Oh, right. I keep pretty much everything in the cloud.
Okay.
So it's not even really an issue. So we've got our pipeline now, and so you'll have some kind of image or some kind of a thing that catches your eye that makes it really clear that, okay, this requires your attention, and it'll be the first field.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's definitely doable. It's not going to like change color necessarily, but it's doable. So there's that. Do you have any questions around that? Anything that I can sort of clarify or answer?
No, it's great. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think I like the possibility. So like, I'm in the replies. So pretty much, if in a perfect world, I'm just dealing there. I'll paste the list. I'll go yes, no, right. I'm gonna send the link, and then Calendly does the rest. And then I suppose if it doesn't get booked, I'll see an image, and then I've got to follow up on that lead. I think just minimum involvement on my time. Yeah, very easy enough to copy and paste straight into the Airtable rather than a Google Sheet.
For sure, and once you sort of get the hang of it, you can start really organizing this and cleaning it up, deleting all of the fields that you don't need, hiding the fields that don't apply to a particular view. Like these are all the yes replies, right?
Yeah.
So what if we want to see like all the sent link people? We'll just do this kind of thing. I think you actually have multiple fields that, like your positive and priority field are basically asking the same question, which is what is the status of this whole thing? Because you've got the same options. So, and then you've got all your sent links here.
Nice.
Right. So there's a lot of possibilities to really streamline your workflow and organize data in a really meaningful way. Now, if you need to present something to a customer, like any of this data that you're pulling into this base, would you need to be able to show that to a customer in any form?
Yeah, I suppose I would give them access maybe just to the CRM, or yeah, that's a good question.
So here's what you do. Let's say Dan is your customer.
Yeah.
We're going to create a view just for Dan that he can only see records that have he can only see the view that has his records. So let's say Dan. private view. And we're going to create a filter in which the lead name is Dan, contains Dan. So now he's not going to see any of your other stuff unless you happen to have two Dans. And what you could do is you could share this view with him, and you could allow him to show the expanded field. So when he clicks, or you could restrict access with a password, but you can only do that on the pro version. You're on the pro version right now, I think, because you just got that trial.
Yeah.
But you could even embed it on a site. So you could even embed it in your own back end for your customers if you wanted to do that. And if I open it in an incognito window where I'm not logged into the space, where I don't have access to the space, this is what it will look like for Dan. And we actually do this. We send reporting to our customers so they can see their timesheet logs. And
cool. Yeah, so you can see.
So he can see everything he needs to see and nothing that he doesn't.
I suppose you can make it, let's say Dan's doing the calls, and then maybe he could have his own pipeline, or
Oh, you mean where he's entering in information?
or maybe like dragging it to the next stage of the pipe, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if you can actually do that. You might be able to do that with a form view.
I've got you.
So
Yeah, I need to think as well, like how much are the clients going to be involved, or well, I'll get it to the meeting, and it's on them to work their own pipeline then, isn't it? You know, or to close.
Yeah, I mean, how they manage their sales process, do you really want to be involved in that? That's kind of up to them, right?
Yeah, not at all, no. Yeah.
But what you could do is you could say, all right, if you want to help us help you, use this form, and whenever you have a call, you know, add your reply here or add whatever field you want to add, and then change the priority to booked or to had a call or whatever, and then they submit this. They submit that form, and it'll automatically update your CRM.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is you can create as many forms as you want that only submit the data that you want. So it's like you limit their ability to do any damage to the CRM, but you kind of help them help you.
Yeah, sounds good.
You see?
Right,
So
yes, I think some good ideas. Yeah, I like the replies. Maybe I'll do some research now with Zapier, Airtable County. Yeah, like, definitely want the Kanban view. It just makes things so much easier, you know? Very visual.
yeah, for sure. I think it won't even cost you anything really. I think this is all in the free version of Airtable. I think there's a limit on the number of records you can have. I think it's 5,000 or 10,000.
Yeah, so
You could periodically prune your records, or you could even just create like new bases whenever you'd have base 1, base 2, base 3.
is a record like the full row, or is it like the person's name, the title? That would be 2 records.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think each row is a record.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, each row would have to be a record.
Yeah, I can't imagine getting 5,000 friendly clients, especially with cold prospecting. Facebook ads, who knows? But
I don't know. It could add up because you'll have like all of these records and all the offers that you offer, all the people involved, all the CRM stuff. But
oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
if you're the only user of Airtable and you have to upgrade, it'll still be super cheap.
Yeah, obviously if I had, well, yeah, it's like probably afford it now. But yeah, if I had that many clients and needed that, it should be easy enough to do.
Yep. Dude, is there anything else I could help you with Airtable or with Zapier? Do you have any
no,
questions?
that's good. No, thank you. I got B Summer 5. Just trying to think. No, I can see what's possible. I think just maybe, yeah, come with a workflow, and then I think I've got it roughly how I'd like it to work in my head, and this can do it. And it's just maybe getting everyone, yeah, let's do some research with like Calendly, Zapier, Airtable,
Hmm.
and then like see what's feasible there, you know?
And I tell you what, too, Marley, I'm happy to actually help you like build this whole thing out, just in exchange for basically making it a case study.
Cool.
Because I think I told you, I may not have, that I'm building a course called Airtable by Example. So I've already started recording the videos, and basically what I did for you just now would be kind of the heart of the course, the core content, which is how do you create a business control center, a business dashboard in Airtable. And then all of the other videos are sort of more detailed. How to use the different fields, how to use linked records and functions and formulas and Zapier and stuff like that. So I'm going to be selling that course. And if you want to be a case study, I'd be happy. And of course, we could like hide all of these actual customers' information, so it's not visible to other people. But we would basically just communicate the process.
So yeah, because I was thinking actually, like, you could probably build like a whole company in this, because like, and obviously with my VAs and stuff, because yeah, like definitely, I can see that sense that from the beginning when you show me the people, the clients. Because I have a checklist of the work I have to do every day, and yes, we could put everyone's pipeline on this one sheet. But I was just trying to think, yeah, I need to get my head around that and maybe show you a little bit more of my process. Typically what I do is I'll get like a sales navigator search results, maybe spend like 2 days building a prospect list, quality checking it, show that then to the clients. So they know every connection's like perfect for them. So you know, the prospect list. And then what I do then is send connections for a week, and then we see who's connected. So then the prospect list, then some of them will go to connected. So that's got a connected list. Then in the connected list then is who we're going to message. Some people, then we have like different segments of who gets what message. What I've also started doing is like taking everyone who say has connected, like take their job title, because it's not always as simple as like founders CEO. Send that to a VA, and then it'll change that to like founders and CA. So that goes into the pitch. I help founders and CEOs with, and then like have a value proposition. But then so that's like, yeah, prospect list connected. From the connected document, who's had the message sent. Then message sent, then you've got replies, then replies to positive replies to link sent to meetings booked, you know. So like I think, yeah, ideally I'm aiming for 15, 16 clients in the next 6 months. So could be a lot to put on there, but again, kind of processes. So I've got VAs doing all the legwork, you know.
Yeah, and you know, again, once you master how to organize stuff using the filters and views, it's not going to feel like a lot, because even though if you open like the raw grid view, it'll just be like the dump of all the data that you've ever put in there. When you open each of the individual views, you're only going to see the stuff that's relevant to the information you need. So it actually keeps it super organized. We actually recently did it. We just wound up with too much stuff in our Airtable, and we did like a consolidation project where we just like put everything into views, it's like super neat and tidy. And we wrote a blog post. I'll send you the link if you want to check it out.
Yeah, sounds good.
So in terms of keeping, that's one of the big problems with Google Sheets, is that it becomes this big mess. And that's one of the ways where Airtable is really superior to Sheets, is because it gives you all the tools you need and makes it easy to avoid the mess, to clean it up, and to organize it and prevent it from accumulating.
Oh, I've got a question. You know, you said, I think I've got a Stripe account, but I typically just send an invoice, send a payment request on PayPal. Can you set PayPal up for recurring payments?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have to have a business account or personal?
I believe you can do it with a personal account.
And does it send an invoice for you as well, or would I have to do that?
You can set it up to invoice on a like a 30-day basis, regular basis. and it'll just
Nice.
automatically send the invoice every month.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'll look into that. Yeah, that's going to save me time as well, because sometimes I forget, you know. But it's always a good thing, billing.
Yeah, just go into the invoices section of PayPal, and then there should be a setting when you create an invoice that says, make this recurring.
Cool. Would it be every 30 days, or say like the 15th every month, or like different options?
I think both of those are options, if I'm not mistaken.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that, mate. If you want a case study, definitely. Because I think most people have a CRM, isn't it? And it's just maybe you can tailor make it to fit your own needs. I just want it as easy as I can, and get with a calendar link, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool, man. Thanks for your time. I'll let you crack on, and
Yeah.
I'll upload this recording to my Google Drive and send it to you for your reference.
Awesome. I've picked up my other laptop because that's got your Chrome extension on. I believe LinkedIn Helpers just had an update now, so they say it's safer. But I'm pretty sure, I want to say, because obviously we only started sending messages maybe the last month. I think I refreshed it before I stopped. It might even be like 200 to 500 people to be messaged, you know.
Oh, really?
Hopefully I can get that tonight. I'll have a little look. I'll give you an update.
All good, man. I'm not fussed.
Yeah, if not, then we can. Well, just maybe I'll just press play and just let it like maybe 75 messages a day, or I'll build it up like 25, 50, 75. But yeah, when I get a chance, either tomorrow or late tonight, I'll just give you a little update of where I can see the account is, and then next steps then.
Cool, man.
Awesome. Thank you for your time, Vic. I'll speak to you soon.
All right, brother.
Try, mate. Take care.
Take care. See ya.
Bye.